And this is the last game of what has been a fantastic tournament, AprilAngst. I am Go-Go Boots.
And I am the Kragan.
And we are looking at a matchup between Nashville and Forest City.
This is going to be a good bout. Both teams have had some time off today. Nashville played a very close game earlier today. Forest City had a very close game yesterday. And I think we're going to be surprised to see how close. Actually, to be honest, all the women's games for the last 2 days have been close, within points of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, the WFTDA ranked games have been so very good. We'll take a little look at the rosters shortly, but we are ready to start the action. It is 42 Torque for Forest City, who is out as first lead jammer.
So it's interesting that Torque started out as a jammer. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of being on the live feed. Torque was predominantly a pivot in the first half, and then she became a jammer in the second half. She's been dominant on both positions regardless of where she is, so it's nice to see that they've made the adjustment. Torque is starting out in the jammer lineup already.
And 4 points are being put on the board there for Forest City. Nashville currently with 0. We will take a quick look at the rosters. For Forest City Derby Girls from London, Ontario, we have 17 low-key, 184 is Kicks, 20 is Vegas, 27 Candy Payne, 4 is Pedro, 42 Torque, 5 is Mischievous Lady T, 50 is Gemicide, 75 Sociopath, 813 is Nanya Biz, 87 is Siren, 92 is Ginger Slaughterhouse, and 99 is Drop Dead Alice.
And I'll hit the Nashville roller derby the next break, but right up now, your lead jammer is 99, Drop Dead Alice for Forest City.
And as we can see right there, Drop Dead Alice giving some nice, strong communication to her teammates.
All right, and for Nashville roller derby, you have 121 Gigawatts, 124 Kablamazon, 13 Shirley Mental, 18 Stitches, 220 Electric Cow, 31 Pop Tart, 329 Alita 1, 42 Virginia Slam, 43 Rose the Riveter, 53 Punchbug, 64 A-Bomb, 671 Rough Edges, 7 AKA Rogue, 777 Smash, and 927 Bella No Way. All right, we're back off again. Coming around the track, both jammers get stuck behind the line.
And that pack stretched out.
Oh, no.
That pack stretched out, so we have Rosie the Riveter as lead jammer.
Gemicide for Forest City being stuck, recycled all the way to the back, having to come back through the pack again.
Nashville putting 4 points on the board there. Meanwhile, I think Gemicide might still be on an initial pass and also going to the penalty box.
Very fortuitous for the Nashville right now. Gemicide in the last couple of games had actually been a little penalty heavy, so we'll see how that translates over to today. If she continues to keep that trend, this could be bad news for Forest City. Hopefully they adjust that, and maybe they bring another jammer back in who's doing really good at pivot. Yesterday, Pedro was doing a really good job as a pivot. They had her jam as a utility, and we'll see if that translates over again today.
Yep, as you know, if you've ever watched the sport of roller derby, you can't do much from sitting in the penalty box. And with jammers, when they go to the penalty box, they're watching the opposing jammer just rack up points.
No, so my first game actually as a skater, back when it was still minute penalties.
Oh, yeah.
Minute penalties. As a jammer, I racked up 3 back-to-back penalties as a jammer. And the other jammer was so good, I spent the first 3 minutes of the game in the box. And we were down 50 points, and I was not allowed to jam again the rest of the game.
Yeah. That's some smart bench work there.
Yeah.
Bench, you know what? We're just going to not have you jam.
Yeah, I was a blocker the rest of the time.
Yeah.
All right, current score is Nashville 20, Forest City 4. 26 minutes left in this first half of the last game of AprilAngst 2019.
We hope that you have been enjoying all of the games this weekend, and we want you to stick around to watch Nashville versus Forest City. We have AKA Rogue for Nashville and Torque for Forest City, and it is AKA Rogue out for Nashville.
Not too far behind, though. Torque came out with a full head of steam. We'll see if she gets it called off quickly. That's that torque. That's the torque pivot right there. That's not the torque jammer. That was the torque pivot coming out and getting that jam called off and stopping that blood flow of points being scored in favor of Nashville.
Yeah, and also managing to get a point on the board while they were doing that. So score is currently 5 to Forest City, 24 to Nashville. And we, if we take a little look at the rankings, with the WFTDA rankings, Nashville are on 113, and Forest City are on 133. And we know the amount of teams that are in rankings and the switches that can go through that. I still think this is going to be a very close game, even if there is 20 rankings between them.
No, and I agree. As we've seen through the whole weekend, the women's games have been close. The men's games have been lopsided. Golden State Heat, new team on the scene. They were ranked lower than every other men's team that's been here, but they killed every men's teams by 100 points wherever. So you never know what's going to happen here at AprilAngst. I predict this is going to be a close game. We'll see who's going to be ahead, but I think both teams are playing smartly right now.
Yep, and definitely with the smarts and the lead, it is Pop-Tart. Drop Dead Alice is in the bin, so at the moment we have a power jam situation.
Pop-Tart, number 31 for Nashville. Consistently, she's been an awesome jammer this morning and yesterday. Always manages to find the pocket and finds a way to get through. She's taller than most of the smaller jammers on Forest City, but don't let that fool you, because the Forest City jammers, specifically Drop Dead Alice, who's out there right now, manages to find every small pocket and sneaks through and will surprise you every time she's out there jamming.
It's why it's good to have a range of jammers. Different heights, different sizes, and also different styles.
Correct.
You do see some jammers out there that are very much pushing walls and with that brute force. And then you've got some of the other jammers who have that delicate little footwork to find those little gaps and just sneak through. Talking of sneak, we've got Punchbag and Gemicide as our sneaky jammers at this jam.
And talking about sneaky, it looks like Punchbag snuck right through. She's going to be a lead jammer for Nashville, but not far behind. Gemicide's coming through. Punchbag falls down for a second, slides through turn one, but she calls it off quickly before Gemicide can get any points on that jam.
As we've seen from the previous games during the weekend, Gemicide has got a lot of speed, and once she's out of the pack, you're going to want to call it as quickly as possible to stop her getting points. So nice work from Nashville there.
But personally, I feel her speed is also her detriment. I feel her speed coming into the pack has cost her many penalties over the weekend.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Mighty Ducks, that skater who couldn't stop at the cans.
Yeah.
Torque is your lead jammer right now. Again, she calls it off quickly. Quick 0-0. Might be the first 0-0 of this bout right now. Torque had the wherewithal to know that she was getting beat off that line, called it very quick, reset. 30 seconds later, we're going to go back to the next jam.
And it looks like Drop Dead Alice is the jammer coming up for Forest City.
I know that we're only doing MVPs this weekend for the whole weekend.
Yes.
So if I had to judge on a male skater, it would be Uncle Dad. Yeah. Just because of the name. I really like Uncle Dad. But Drop Dead Alice has impressed me because of her size. I'm a horrible weight guesser. I'd be horrible at the carnival to guess somebody's weight. But I would say she's 100 pounds maybe. But she hits the biggest blockers out there and is able to get through every time. And she may not be lead right now, but she went through a tough 3-wall.
She went through a tough 3-wall. And also, I get the feeling that even with a petite stature, her hits are probably very brutal
sure.
as well.
I don't want to be witness or feel it. I will take my visual representation of what happened, and I'll just believe that she's got it.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Looking to get more points up next, we have number 50. That is a Gemicide up against, if we can see, number 7 for Nashville. That is Rogue.
Rogue is one of those block or jammers who's going to push that whole 4 wall all the way to an out of play if she can. And she's doing a good job of it right now. No packs called. Rogue is able to get by on the outside. Lead is called to Rogue. Gemicide, though, hop, skip, and a jump. She's also through. Both jammers are now on their scoring pass.
Absolutely. As you saw, like Gemicide being on one side of the track and then just swooping and hopping to that other side. And I'm pretty sure she's managed to pick up 3 points in that.
Right, as you alluded to earlier, Gemicide's speed managed for her to catch up, and she caught those points.
And we're getting some stats through. That is the broken streak of 4 jams of not getting any points. So 3 apiece on both of these. At the moment, Nashville with an early kind of lead. Pop-Tart out and through as lead for Nashville.
Torg is back around again, making her scoring pass. Pop-Tart smartly calls it off. It looks like Pop-Tart has picked up a penalty at the end of that jam, though. Pop-Tart reports to the penalty box. This is going to be a power start for Forest City.
And this is also with 2 blockers in the bin for Nashville. Not only a power start, but a 4-2 pack advantage.
Exactly. If any time that Forest City could capitalize and make that score better, now's the time. And they brought up the best jammer I feel Forest City has right now on a 4-2 advantage. 30 seconds. We'll see how many scores she can do.
Yeah, Drop Dead Alice. We can see them swarming around those Nashville players, and Drop Dead Alice very quickly getting out of the pack.
The normal derby skater should be able to do a lap in about 9 to 10 seconds. So if she can do 3 laps untouched, she can get through. She can put 12 points on the board before Pop-Tart stands back up. She's already made it through once. Pop-Tart's up right now. Pop-Tart's been released. She's already put 4 points on the board.
But Pop-Tart also has an initial pass.
Still has to make the initial, and that is what we got to figure out. Pop-Tart's back in. She hits the front of the 4 wall. She's going. She gets out of bounds. She's recycled back to that 4 wall. She's through, though. Initial is complete. She's on a scoring pass. What is Alice going to do? Alice is through. Wisely calls it off. Should be 8 points in Forest's favor. 0 for Nashville.
Yeah, pulling that score up, 17 for Forest City. If we can get a few more jams like that on there, this score is going to even up real quick.
So yesterday, that's what happened with Forest City. Forest City was down a little bit. Torque killed it as a pivot. Every time they gave it to her, she got the jam called off. Half happened. Torque came back in as a jammer, started to pick that score back up.
Yep.
So I feel as long as they can continue this where they start putting points back on the board, they start to flourish way better when they're doing good. So as long as they continue to put points on the board, I think Forest City can close this up and make it a close game again.
Yep.
Punch Bug, lead jammer for Nashville.
Once you get that momentum going and like, okay, we've got some points on the board, let's get some more sort of ticking through those jams. That will close the gap up nice and quick.
Gemicide finally makes it through. Kablamazon's called on a penalty, first one of the game. She heads to the penalty box. Punch Bug calls it off, but I think Gemicide thought she was getting a point. The referee differs. The score of 0 for Forest City.
It's always a sneaky thing where you're looking at the referee like, no, I definitely got one. Referees, they don't fall for this kind of stuff anymore.
I'm not going to lie. As a former official, there's been multiple times this weekend where I thought the score was one way, and I've said it, and the referees proved me wrong, and I'm not on the track to see their perspective.
Yeah.
I can't see hips passing other hips for scoring. So, and the same thing, Gemicide as a skater thinks she knows where it is, but that referee is looking at the line.
Yeah.
So the referees are doing what the referee needs to do. Nashville again with the lead jam. Rosie the Riveter. Torque back on the track trying to catch up. She's going to get the jam called off. A score of 0-0.
That is I mean, for Nashville, that was exactly what they need. Seeing Rosie Riveter trying to get through, but also seeing Torque so close to the back of the pack, just going, you know what, now is the time to call it. We've still got a little bit of a score advantage, and having 0-0 is better than us getting 0 and you getting 4.
Correct. Up next, return to the track, number 99, Drop Dead Alice for Forest City. And a referee is in my way, so give me a second and I can tell you who is going for Nashville. And it's AKA Rogue. Both jammers caught up on their respective opponent walls, but Drop Dead Alice will make your lead jammer. Oh, never mind. Drop Dead Alice is receiving a cut penalty and will head to the box.
I think they looked at their referee like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, she did.
Yeah.
She threw her hands up, said, hey, I got it.
Yep. A nice little wall at the front, holding AKA Rogue back right now.
Yeah, Forest City doing a good job of holding back, trying to recycle. Nashville's doing a good job of holding back the recycle. AKA Rogue heading all the way to the back of the engagement zone behind the whole pack. Alice is already standing. Alice is back on the track and release. So good job on Forest City to hold Rogue long enough to allow Alice to come back out.
Yeah, that was a really good penalty kill.
So Rogue is lead, but Alice is right there. Rogue's got to call it off. Another 0-0 jam.
Yep.
Forest City, once again, 2 for 2, holding Nashville at 0 points.
Yep, being able to escape the pack at the same time as the jammer who's got lead and forcing that call. You're burning time off the clock, and you are also not causing any more points differential damage.
And doing that for Forest City is also, like you said, not causing damage in this points area, which is what they need right now. You're tiring down all those jammers.
And a tired jammer can end up a sloppy jammer.
Exactly. Pop-Tart back on the track for Nashville. Gemicide back on the track for Forest City. Gemicide trying to get through a formidable 3-wall right now. Gemicide's through, though. Lead jam hot on her heels, though. Pop-Tart's right out. Yeah, Gemicide's picking up that speed, though, you talked about earlier.
Yeah, and we saw the door open for both of those jammers to just straight through on that inside line.
Gemicide calling it, though. It's going to be a 0-0 again, I feel. 0.
So that was the first lead jam in 8 jams for Forest City.
Nice. It is also the second back-to-back. No, I'm sorry. This is the third back-to-back 0-0 jam.
Yep.
We're seeing a hat trick. That's a hat trick. 0-0 jam for both teams right now. The score still stands. 50 Nashville, 17 Forest City. Just under 13 minutes left in the first half.
I mean, we talk about tactics with stuff like that, and it's kind of better for nobody to score points than try and push to get those points, and then be faced with the other team also scoring. We have another lead. That is Torque. We have been talking a lot about Torque.
I'm not gonna lie. Punch Bug's still your not lead jammer. I thought there might have been a helmet cover pass there, but it's not. I really admire Torque. Torque is a utility player. She fills in where she needs to. She's been a blocker. She takes a bow for the crowd. She's been an awesome jammer. Yesterday she was a good jammer in the second half.
Yeah.
She was an awesome pivot in the first half. So whatever position her team puts her in, she's excelled.
Yeah.
If I could give an MVP, if we could vote, my vote would be on 42 Torque Forest City. She's been an awesome whole weekend.
Yeah. And it's very difficult to pick, like, how MVPs and stuff like that. Whenever we've been in this position of picking MVPs for game, it's like, well, do we have to? There are so many people that have put some amazing stuff out on track and just been powerhouses of awesomeness.
I'm not going to lie. I picked the EMT.
Yes. EMTs, and also we have to give love to our officials, both on and off skates.
Of course. Rosie the Riveter is being pointed at with a nice hop, skip, and the jump to the inside. Still your lead jammer, 4 points in the sky. Alice with a 2-wall.
Taking a little tumble on the inside of the track, but has completed the initial pass.
That's what I was talking. Her resilience for somebody that short, and I'm not short shaming or talking about short. She took a big hit. she rolled out of it, continued to go, and she got her initial pass done. Other skaters would have laid there.
Yes, absolutely.
So I believe that she's actually made by Rubbermaid.
I'll agree with you on that. I mean, I've seen some jammers that I suspect have springs in their legs. And I'm pretty sure that is an accurate description.
I'd be curious to see who her parents are. I'm sure it's a garbage can and maybe a wastebasket, but both made by Rubbermaid.
That's the first scoring jam for Nashville in 5 jams.
Man. Who is that back? It looks like it is number 7. That'd be AKA Rogue, lead jammer for Nashville. Gemicide still fighting for a bit. Gemicide one-on-one block. She takes it out. She has made the initial pass. Let's see if her speed can help kill off this jam. Gemicide coming back around. She's through turn 4. Coming back around. AKA Rogue's got to call it off.
I think the referee's looking and just waiting for that hip tap there. Like, okay, we know that this is coming.
Right. And sometimes you have to, but I don't think you should be fixated on it, because what happens if they don't? What if the coach waves that off and they want to go the full 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, now you're fixated on it and you're anticipating, and if you blow the whistle too early, now you've influenced that game at that point.
Absolutely. But it is always very good to be aware and be looking for, especially with the jam refs, like having that connection with the jammer and being like, okay, what's going to happen next? This could happen. I'll wait. You've done it.
Right.
Good. We can get a new jam started.
Oh, it looks like Torque has picked up a track cut. Track cut to 4-2 Torque of Forest City. This would be a power jam to Nashville at a time when Torque and Forest City could have used.
So
there's a lot of whistles going on right now.
So Pop-Tart looking to call that off. It's a successful call off, but at the same time has picked up a forearms penalty. So we have both jammers sitting in the box. We'll get one of them released immediately from the box, I think.
So I was reminded earlier, and it's been a while since I've reffed this rules.
Mm-hmm.
So I say back in the day, back when both jammers used to sit in the box,
mm-hmm.
the referees had to hold hands.
That warms my tiny, dark, cold heart.
But it's not happening right now because that's no longer a thing. But if both jammers should have to sit in the box at the same time, the jam refs would have to hold hands and crossing over in front of each other to signify that their jammers were in the box.
Nice.
That's not going to happen now because it's literally going to be a second between each other before they're released. But we can think back to a grander, simpler time when referees coexisted and held hands, and Derby was such a great area. We had double knee starts in minors.
Oh, I remember the good old days of the Philly wall and those, like, we're on a power jam, so everyone just speed around the track.
The 6-point jam and the Soul Crush.
Oh. Those were glorious days. However, I'm kind of glad we don't have minors anymore.
I'm kind of glad as a referee,
yep,
we don't have any of that anymore.
Yep.
I'm kind of glad as a referee we got rid of jammer lap points.
I think we are having one of our referees come over to give us the information on, I don't know if it's an official review.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything showing an official review yet. I think.
And it was an official review. And we will get that information off of our wonderful producer, Beautiful Banshee, who's been feeding us information.
Awesome information. I'm an athlete, not an athlete, so anything that I quote you that sounds awesome, it comes from the producer.
Yes.
Or Go-Go.
Yeah, we have we have somebody who's able to do the math for us. So they were looking for a forearm call on Nashville Jammer to be rescinded. The call stands, so Nashville's Jammer are going to stay in the box. But as we said, both of these jammers will be released very quickly.
I mean, it was pretty inconsequential because the Nashville jammer who stayed in the box is now lead. So Pop-Tart will be your lead jammer. Torque, not far behind, though. You wouldn't believe they both came out of the penalty box at this time. Pop-Tart with a throw in the air like, I'm what? And she calls it off.
Yeah. Just burning a few seconds off the clock.
And then yesterday he was wearing a weird flannel shirt, but today he's just number 101. That's the coach. Score, Nashville 65, Forest City 21. 7.5 minutes left in the half.
And now we are having an official review being called by 1-on-1 Potty Mouth for Forest City.
I mean, why not? Every team's allowed to have one, maybe two if they win the first one. So.
Well, also you get one per half.
Perhaps.
So they will get another one back in 7.5 minutes time. They will get their official review back. Once we have more info on that official review, we will let you know. But we are going to talk more loving words about some of our sponsors. We've been so lucky this weekend to have 808 roller skates in-house. They're skater-owned, operated, and loved. 808 Roller Skates has been providing gear, instructions, amusement to roller derby and non-derby skaters alike for almost 10 years. Owned by Hijinks, who has skated all over the world, and they're bringing gear and maintenance wherever he goes. 808 Roller Skates strives to provide quality and custom gear to anyone walking through their doors or up to their table. So if you see them at a tournament, make sure you go up and have a chat. There are name brands, expert service, custom builds, and everything else you need for top performance, all found at 808 Roller Skates. Check them out on Facebook or at 808rollerskates.com. And fun fact, they have been gearing up Penn Jersey, our host league, for almost 10 years.
So I'd like to take a shameless plug right now and say a wonderful hi to my wife, Catatonic Crush, who's listening to us from Savannah, Georgia right now. She said, "Go Boots and you, I hear you, and you guys are doing great, so thank you."
Oh, that is lovely. We always appreciate feedback, especially when it's positive.
Right. Yeah, the negative, you guys can go bleep.
Well, you know, that's what Twitter is for. You can tweet and tell us if we're doing a bad job. But who's doing a fantastic job right now are our officials who are bringing us that information over. We will tell you about that shortly, but we have a new jam started. It is Punchbug and Drop Dead Alice as our jammers.
Oh, Alice almost took the lead jam, but at the last second, Punchbug came right through on the inside. It's going to be a race around through the pack. It looks like Punchbug is in the lead, but Alice is going to do a quick call-off. Oh, I don't know if Punchbug got all of those points to the inside.
So the official review that they were asking was just to double-check that the time being served in the penalty box was correct.
Yeah, just to verify that I guess there was some confusion over a skater leaving the box early. The time was correct.
Yeah, there was some kind of confusion with thinking one of the skaters had left the box early, but it was correct, and official review has been lost for both teams, but they will gain them back.
That's good. Officials out there doing what officials do. That was a 0-0 jam, by the way, for everybody following along at home. Score still stands 65 Nashville, Forest City 21. Under 7 minutes left in this first half, but don't go anywhere because after the intermission, we still have the second half of the last game of AprilAngst 2019 coming up here at the Bud Center.
Yep,
That's what it's called, the Bud Center. GPS it. It'll tell you arrived at the Bud Center.
We have been so fortunate to have the Penn Jersey Roller Derby hosting such a phenomenal tournament. I was here last year for AprilAngst. I have a feeling they'll host again next year. So make sure that you pay attention. Go to Penn Jersey's Facebook page, and so you could be here this time next year.
Yeah.
Enjoying some AprilAngst with us.
And this is my inaugural AprilAngst, and I've had a great time, and I hope that I'm invited to come back because it's been such an awesome time here. The teams have been awesome. The games have been great. This is some of the best derby I've seen in forever.
Yeah, we have been so lucky, and we're lucky that we still have a whole 6.5 minutes left in this first half and then a whole other half. We have Rough Edges and Gemicide as our jammers. Gemicide looking like she got out the front there but recycling back.
Big hit to the inside on the Nashville jammer, rough edges. I'm sorry, I laughed.
Sociopath.
75 sociopath.
Yeah.
Her hands up to the referee and said I didn't mean to. Kind of tickled me just a little bit. Rough edges will be your lead jammer from Nashville on that.
That is the problem. Sometimes the hits are already in motion and the momentum is happening.
It was the honesty in her face. I didn't mean to do it. And the referee agreed, didn't call her on that penalty, but allowed the Nashville jammer to get the lead.
Yeah. I think she might have picked up a penalty because we've got two in the box. I
stand corrected. She is very much sitting in the box. We'll give her 30 seconds to think about her decisions. So
I think it's also double checking that and just saying that was definitely not intentional, and let's not upgrade this in any way, shape, or form. Forest City scoreless for the last 6 jams.
Dang, that's Rosie River is your lead jammer on Nashville. Torque is still caught up in a pretty good 3-wall. Up, trying to get around. 1, 2, 4. Amazon was doing a good job of keeping Torque back. The box is empty. All skate on the track right now. All blockers are on the track. Both jammers are on the track.
And looks like Rosie the Riveter coming around for another scoring pass. So this will be the 3rd of this jam.
Had to call it off as Torque was coming up quickly on the backside.
And just waiting for the referee to signal if there were any more points on the board for Nashville there.
Official review being called by Forest City. Is it?
No, timeout.
Sorry, my angle is stupid. Is a team timeout being called by Forest City?
Yeah, we saw.
I'd like to thank our live feed person over here running the computers for correcting me because I couldn't see it.
Also, thank you for the entire weekend for the amazing feed. I don't think we've had any negative feedback with regards to that. And it's also been free. You've had free roller derby all weekend.
Yeah, unless you were listening to the feed last night when I thought they said $3.99 and it was free $99.
Yes.
And I tried to get people to pay $4 to come watch the feed.
I mean, I do feel that, that's still really cheap for good, awesome roller derby.
I did try to put up a Venmo click page for $3.99 to me, but nobody ran with it. So
I mean, it's a valiant attempt, and
It was. But I couldn't be a liar. If I said it was $3.99 to watch the feed and it wasn't, I was going to make it $3.99 for something.
Yes.
So.
At the moment, we are looking at the score, 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Nashville are on 79, Forest City are on 21. And AKA Rogue is lead jammer.
But not far behind her, Drop Dead Alice is coming through. Oh, and AKA Rogue goes all the way to the Golden City Heat guys from the MRDA bout earlier. She just wanted to make sure they felt like they were part of the group. And she did that. They high-fived her. She got back on the track.
Saying, oh, well done for your games. You've had a good weekend. I'm going to get up now and go back to my bench.
Looks like we had Gemicide return to the track for Forest City and Pop-Tart for Nashville.
And with an empty penalty box and 3.5 minutes left, we will see what both these jammers can do. Pop-Tart popping out of the pack and is lead for Nashville.
Gemicide makes it out on the initial, coming around for a scoring pass. Pop-Tart's got a decision. Continue going, put points on the board, or call it off. I'm going to vote on call it off. Call it off.
Yep.
I should be playing the lottery right now.
If somebody could purchase my co-announcer a lottery ticket, we would greatly appreciate that.
Please. And if we win, I'll split it with you, but it's got to be in lower denomination 1s and 5s.
Okay. As long as it's not in, like, 25-cent coins.
Or quid.
Or quids.
Or quids.
Quids. If you can't tell from my accent, I'm not originally from the US of A.
No, I thought you were from Wisconsin.
I am from, well, I mean, I live close to
In
Wisconsin.
Minnesota.
In
Yeah.
Minnesota.
I grew up in South Dakota. I mean, it's cold. I won't go back there.
Yeah.
Ever.
It is very cold, but heating up the track is Punch Bag right at the front. But talk
4-2
from
Rogue.
nowhere.
I think we should, like, by now, for me, as much as I champion her, is doing bow, 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 Rogue. Oh, she went through in the. I thought she had it. Called it off, though. She picked up all of.
Yep,
She got
all 4
of them.
points.
All 4 points.
Yep, managed to get in, keeping that foot in, and just at the last minute, having passed all of the blockers, a little tumble to the outside and going, okay, this is the time to call it. But what a sneaky 4 points on the board for Forest City.
No, she took. So, as announcers will say from earlier today, I feel obligated to say it is a 60-point difference between both teams, but it can still be anybody's bout at this point.
Absolutely. We've seen high points differentials be reduced in a mere few jams.
Drop Dead Alice is your lead jammer right now for Forest City. Can she capitalize on this and put multiple points on the board for Forest City heading into the half?
With Punch Bag in the penalty box, they will still need to complete an initial pass. Meanwhile, Drop Dead Alice is on that scoring pass.
It'll be a little harder with Drop Dead Alice having one blocker. She's got some relief coming.
Seeing that the opposing jammer was out, calling it off with the 4 points in hand, and it looks like we'll still have time for one more jam.
Ugh. 3-on-1 advantage going to Nashville right now as the box is loaded up for Forest City. 2 blockers sitting, 1 standing. They're going to do a switch as soon as that blocker leaves. So my money is on Nashville getting lead. Just calling it right now.
And lo and behold, Rosie the Riveter picking up lead, as we said.
But Torque is right behind her. She got through that 3-wall. Pack is slowed down at turn 3. Rosie is through. I don't know about that call off though with the referees though. Rosie's foot was out of bounds. She was straddling. She kind of cut a little bit. I might have given her the penalty before she called it off, but my view is a little different than the referees.
And this is why, from our beautiful bird's nest, we are able to look and view things that sometimes aren't quite as they seem. What is as it seems is intermission. We have 89 for Nashville, 29 for Forest City, 15 minutes left in the intermission. So if you're watching at home, go grab a brewski, grab a glass of wine, maybe a cup of tea or coffee wherever you are, but make sure you are back in 15 minutes to watch this game.
Yeah, and if you're at my house, go ahead and grab my kitty cat and tell Colby I love him.
Aww. So we have about 10 seconds left, and it looks like we have teams returning to the track right now.
And it's always good when we get a little George Michaels on the radio right now.
It's definitely putting everyone in like a very good mood.
It is. We welcome back. Second half, last bout, AprilAngst 2019. I'm the Craig, and I'm joined by Go-Go Boots.
And we have the action starting back up. Rosie the Riveter out as lead jammer, but Talk is hot on her heels.
Rosie River calls it off pretty quick. Looks like 4 points on the board for Nashville, 1 at the last second for Forest City. And you would think that there would be no fans left here on a Sunday night for the last bout, but the fans are still here. There's people outside still buying food. They're filtering back in. We still have a good presence here for the last bout of AprilAngst 2019.
Absolutely. So after that first jam, Nashville 93, Forest City on 30. And we had a little penalty count in the halftime. 20 penalties each team. Nashville has 1 skater on 5, 1 on 3, and all of the others are 2 or less. Forest City has 1 skater on 4, 1 on 3, and the others are on 2 or less. So apart from 1 skater on Nashville being at that kind of danger zone of having 5 penalties, everyone else looking reasonably safe right now.
Well, hopefully, as long as that skater who's in danger is not Punchbag, then we're good. Because Punchbag has returned to the penalty box for Nashville. And it'll be a power jam for Forest City right now.
I do have the number of the skater, and it isn't Punchbag who is on that.
All right. Well, then Punchbag is safe for the interim.
Also safe right now is Drop Dead Alice and those 4 points that they have picked up already. Seven points for Forest City in that last jam. And we have just under 28 minutes left in the second half.
5 seconds as announced from our awesome timekeeper out there.
We have Gemicide and AKA Rogue as our 2 jammers for each team. AKA Rogue being swarmed by a 3-wall, just moving her back and forth across the track. But a burst of speed, and AKA Rogue is our lead jammer for Nashville.
AKA Rogue took it to Forest City, and she was able to get through very well. And that is a very she's done it over and over again. Like, when she jams, she's going to take it to the blockers every single time.
Sociopath delivering the hit that has stopped AKA. And now 4-wall just gluing AKA Rogue in place. Meanwhile, Gemicide having that trouble at the front with everyone water falling back around.
No pack was called. That allowed Gemicide to finally get out. Jam's going to be called off by Nashville. 4 points on the board, holding Forest City 2-0.
So as we said before, at the moment there's 60 points between these 2 teams. We've seen this a couple of times. Nashville have a lead, but not necessarily a super comfortable one, because we still have 26 minutes left in this half.
The smartest thing both teams can do now is to play good derby, keep everybody out of the penalty box. A jammer goes to the box for 2 jams. That can easily be a 20-point gain for either team right now.
Absolutely.
Torque, number 4-2, is going to be your lead jammer. She came through on the inside line like it was nothing.
Just sneaking through. And we see Rough Edges has only just got out of the pack.
Rough Edges will hold Forest City to only 4 points, but it's 4 needed points for Forest City.
It's not impossible to get points on the board if you aren't the lead jammer, but it is that little bit easier to be lead jammer and be able to call it when you need to. So I think Forest City looking for maybe a couple more lead jams their way.
Both teams starting this jam off with 1-1 blocker down, 3 blockers on the track. Your lead jammer is going to be Rosie the Riveter.
Just
Alice,
running up that inside line.
She totally took the inside line the whole way. Hugged the inside line this time for 4 points on the score. Alice, number 99 from Forest City, hugged that outside line. She barely hit the tape. She's all the way through. Finishes the initial. She's on her scoring pass now. Rosie wisely calls it off. 8 points, I believe, on the board for Nashville. 0 for Forest City.
Yeah, that is 8 points, and that has Nashville breaking the century mark. Nashville on 105, Forest City are on 41.
Gemicide back on the track for Forest City.
Some lovely offense there, getting punch bag through. Some beautiful walling by the Nashville blockers.
I agree with you. I was gonna say that was beautiful. Punch bag got through with barely even touched through the whole thing. Once again, punch bag to the inside. She did a little hop, skip, and a jump. She's back through for 4 on the board.
Yeah, that is a total of 8 points. And Gemicide still in the pack, I think possibly on an initial pass. That's going to mean that Punchbag can keep going around and knowing that she has time to pick up a few more points.
She's back through for 4 more points. And we can say all we want to say that Punchbag is the one doing the work, but the blockers setting up those good picks in the routes for Punchbag. It's just as much the blockers on that track. Punchbag's doing the hard work skating. She's thinking about it. She got recycled to the back of the pack.
And it looks like we've had a star pass to Vegas. So Vegas currently holding the star for Forest City, but is still not out. Forest City would be wise to make sure that that wall of blue is broken up to try and get Vegas out to stop the points bleeding.
And as you called it, they did it. Vegas is now on the initial, going back for the scoring pass now. Vegas, your new jammer for Forest City.
The Punchbag, smart jamming work. Another 4 points on the board, and that is a 20-point jam for Nashville.
In today's derby, 20-point jam is a pretty good jam now. Hey, Scott Koenig, I don't care what you think you heard. I'll say it the way I want to say it.
So we have an official timeout right now.
We were saying punch bag, not punch bug, and one of the fans said, it's punch bug, not punch bag. So I just got on the thing and I said, hey, Scott Koenig, I don't care what you think. I'm going to say what I want. It's punch bag, not punch bug.
These things, they
Don't call me out on YouTube, whatever.
I don't know if you could see the bench for Forest City doing a little dancing. We've also got some dancing on track right now while we've got some timeout action going.
Hey, so to all the fans out there, you're right. It is punch bug, not punch bag. I apologize, but sometimes in the heat of the moment, we call what we see. And if punch bag comes out like punch bug, I apologize. If this job was easy, everybody at home watching on YouTube would be doing it.
We currently have a wicked dance party going on both benches and a little bit in the audience as well. See, this is what we love most about roller derby, everyone having a fantastic fun time. Even though this is the last game of the tournament, people are still ready to keep the energy up and keep the happiness going. So with Punchbug's 20-point jam, 6 tied for highest with jam number 3. I think that is the first.
AKA Rogue is going to be your lead jam from Nashville right now. Coming up behind Rogue, number 42, Torque, is going to be trying to call the jam off right now. Rogue goes down hard in turn 2. Rogue is coming up, forces the call off.
And Torque just swimming through the pack back to the bench. Yeah, as I was saying, Punchbug with that 20-point jam is tied for highest scoring jam. The first half we had jam 3 with Rosie picking up 20 points as well. So we like some high scoring jams. Want to see some more of those. But we also want to see more derby action right now. Everyone is on track and not in the box. And we have Rough Edges versus Drop Dead Alice.
I think we've been calling that an all skate. Everybody's doing an all skate. Nobody's in the box.
Nope.
Both walls doing a good job right now of keeping both the jammers back. But Alice, number 99 from Forest City, fighting a strong 2-wall right now.
That is Pop-Tart
and now it's a 3-wall.
Mental
Yeah.
and A-Bomb.
A-Bomb and Pop-Tart, yep.
Making life a little difficult there for Drop Dead Alice.
Vegas, number 20, heading to the box on a penalty.
And Rough Edges being drawn back there by 812, none of your business.
But Drop Dead Alice, number 99 from Forest City, is going to be your lead jammer right now with a little celebration coming around the track. Coach doing the same thing, saying still in, still in. Nashville still on the initial. That gives Drop Dead Alice a free reign to at least pick up 4 points right now. But they're skating 2 blockers down, so she only has 2 blockers to help play offense, defense.
Yeah, we also have Rough Edges with a little star stash.
It looks like Pop-Tart's going to the box on a penalty.
I think that was a forearm penalty.
It looks like Drop Dead Alice is also going to the penalty box on a penalty. It looks like we have a penalty jam, a switch. Nashville
on the power jam. Drop Dead Alice losing lead jammer status. So this will continue until the end of the jam.
Rough Edges doing a good job on the outside. 4 points in the air for Nashville.
And natural conclusion of that jam.
Jam's called off. I think Pop-Tart thought she was getting back into the game, but she didn't. She went back to the end of the line.
There was freedom, and then, oh, well, wait. Jam is called. But we currently have Drop Dead Alice frozen in the box right now. Picked up 4 points in that last jam, so 4 apiece for each of these teams.
The score currently Nashville 1-3-1, Forest City 4-5. 18 minutes left in this game, the last game of AprilAngst 2019.
And we have Rosie the Riveter at the front there, having a little bit of an advantage because Drop Dead Alice started in the box. But we have a little bit of offense coming through for Drop Dead Alice. However, Rosie the Riveter is now lead for Nashville.
Low key heading to the box on a penalty. Drop Dead Alice has made around the scoring. Oh, almost took a trip at the inside.
Rosie the Riveter looking for more points, putting up another 4 on the board.
Action is slowed down. The pack is down at turn 1, excuse me. Hop, skip, and a jump. Rosie Riveter through for 4. Dropped it Alice right behind. Rosie Riveter calls it off. Dropped it Alice, gives a little clap. Could be potentially cheering the crowd on.
I think cheering her own team and Nashville on.
Right. This is a good game.
This is a very good game, and we've seen, we've seen all of the teams this weekend be really happy and friendly to just be on track. Everyone hugs and smiles at the end, and I don't think this game is going to be any different.
Oh, no, and I agree. All right, next jam. We're in jam 10 of the second half right now. Gemicide on the track with the star for Forest City. Punch Bug on the track for Nashville. Punch Bug take the star off, but she gets through.
Punch Bug doing the star stash there.
Yeah. Gemicide's your lead jammer. Possibly the first time Gemicide has been the lead jammer of this game.
We will get that confirmed by our wonderful producer.
It is a quick call-off, though.
Firstly, jam for Gemicide in this half.
I stand corrected. That's why we have an awesome producer in Beautiful Banshee.
Yep, she had 1 in the first period and 1 in the second period.
Punch Bug doing an awesome job in the last jam, though, having Gemicide call it off.
Yep, only 2 points picked up by Forest City. Forest City are on 51, Nashville are on 143. AKA Rogue and Talk are our jammers. And AKA Rogue is going into the box, so this will be a well talked about jam because Talk has the power jam.
Torque, the jammer who's a pivot, who's a jammer, is up right now. Little hit to the outside. Oh, that is a track cut all day long. Torque, not aware who her skates were, thought she was in, step over the tape, track cut, now heading to the box.
So
AKA Rogue back on the track now.
So I think that means that neither jammer is able to get lead. So this will run for the remaining minute and 13 seconds.
That is correct. We are going the full 2-minute gamut of this jam. AKA Rogue with a little hit to the inside. Number 1-7.
That is Low-Key.
Low-Key with a good hit and a recycle. Torque back through. Torque is going. Finish the initial pass on the scoring pass.
And this is just going to be matching up points, seeing which jammer can put the most up. With 2 in the box for Nashville, might be a slightly easier pass through for Forest City.
And you're right, as you say that, Torque's back through, 4 points on the board for Forest City.
Meanwhile, AKA Rogue getting some big hits there. That was number 4 for Nashville. Sorry, number 4 for Forest City, Pedro.
Both jammers being hit to the inside, taken to the back of the pack. Loki is doing an awesome job holding back, AKA Rogue right now. Jam is called at the 2-minute natural conclusion of that jam.
4 were picked up by Nashville. Forest City putting another 2 on the board. No, 3 on the board. So that's a 4-7 jam in favor of Forest City. Forest City with 58, Nashville with 147, and just under 13 minutes left in this game.
Dropped it Ellis back on the track for Forest City. Forest City taking the jammer from Nashville all the way back to the edge of the engagement zone. Another hit from the blocker of Forest City. Out of play, she's got to go forward, but that helps Nashville. Nashville takes out the star, looking for a helmet pass. Dropped it Alice, your lead jammer, coming all the way back around for the first scoring pass of this jam. Drop Dead Alice has already got past 2 blockers, 3 blockers, 4 blockers. 4 points in the sky for Forest City. She calls it off.
And the crowd goes wild.
Drop Dead Alice goes wild. That was an awesome jam for Forest City.
And we currently have the crowd cheering the words Tiny Jammer.
Tiny Jammer. I feel like an Elton John song. Hold me close,
The
Tiny Jammer.
We're just serenading you. We are
Score
available.
the points on the track away.
We are available for weddings, funerals, and bar mitzvahs if you would like the two of us at your next social event. Back to the action on the track. It is Rosie Riveter as lead jammer for Nashville.
Gemicide, not close behind, is you're not lead jammer, but she's coming on the track, going on the point scoring. Rosie Riveter gets through, calls it off. 4 points Nashville, 0 points Forest City.
Just over 11 minutes left. Forest City 62, Nashville on 151. We may have a slightly reduced crowd in-house right now, but everyone is cheering, all the high energy happening. Talk dancing her way through on the toe stops inside line. So that is lead jammer for Talk and Forest City. Punchbug has removed the star, but it looks like it's a star stash rather than a star pass.
Swing and a miss from Forest City. Punchbug gets out. Torque calls it off. Punchbug saw that last Forest City jammer came through, and she said, "Olé!" and let her go right by. And much like the bull fights in Mexico, she managed to get through unscathed. Call the jam off. Only 4 points to Forest City. Current score stands 151 Nashville, 66 Forest City. And there's a timeout being called, team timeout, official review, to Nashville.
Once again, we will wait for further information. We want to give a big thank you to the host league, Penn Jersey Roller Derby. You guys have put on a fantastic tournament all weekend long. We've had people, volunteers, officials, both on and off skates. We got a couple of announcers. We got players. Everyone has been having such a phenomenal time this weekend, and we wouldn't be here without Penn Jersey putting on such a fantastic show.
No, I agree with everything Gogo just said. Still in this official review right now. The referees are talking. It could be about the after party, but we won't know for sure until we're told. A representative coming over right now.
Yeah.
And then our producer will be nice enough to let us know.
Yeah, if they are talking about who is the first round buyer of the after party, we will let you know. If you are in the Penn Jersey area, join us at the after party. It is on Bowman Street. The bar is Franklin's, proud sponsors of PJRD. They'll be raffling off more swag on Sunday immediately following the tournament, along with live music and great drink specials. And
if you didn't know, I've been challenged. The Kragan will be winning the after party tonight.
Yep, if you want to make sure that team announcer isn't the only winners, you need to be here and enjoy the after party spirit with us. So Nashville seeking a cut track penalty on the Forest City jammer, but the no call stands, so they'll lose their review of this half.
But Nashville also gets the lead jam right now. So your lead jammer is currently AKA Rogue. But not far behind AKA Rogue is the little tiny jammer, Drop Dead Alice, number 99, Forest City. She does a little dab, and she keeps going around the track.
And not only that, AKA Rogue is has a penalty. This is a power jam for Drop Dead Alice.
If she dabs every time she comes around the track, this is going to be the scoring every single time. Oh, hit to the outside. She's recycled.
that we see Forest City swarming to stop the opposing blockers from pulling Alice back too far. Really getting in the middle of those walls, trying to stop.
Oh, direction call on Nashville 7-7.
And there was a good penalty kill there from Nashville.
AKA Rogues back on the track. Finishes the initial back on the scoring pass.
But neither jammer can call it off, so this is just going to keep going and trading off points between these two teams.
I heard a low block penalty coming, and it looks like it was given to number 17 from Forest City. Low block. 7-5 given a penalty. The Forest City penalty box is filling up right now. Currently a 3-on-1 position, a 4-on-1 position in favor of Nashville on blockers. Drop dead Alice having her hands full right now. Number 5 from Forest City trying to break up the 3-wall. The jam being called. Drop dead Alice hugging number 177 smash from Nashville, because that's what we do in Derby. We hug it out.
Giving a hug to Electrical on her way back to the bench as well. So we have 8 points on the board for Nashville. Forest City picking up 4. 7.5 minutes left in this game. This is getting exhausting. We can see how this is a well-deserved timeout being called, I think, by Nashville.
Forest City.
Oh, it's Forest City, sorry. Yeah, everyone needs to take a little break, take a little breath, and get back to the amazing Derby for the last 7.5 minutes. So we are looking at the stats, and we've had 8 leads for Nashville and 6 for Forest City in this second half. And 1 jam with no lead at all.
I'd like to give a thanks to the officials for having the same size stripes. Everybody is alternating black and white together at the same time.
It is good to see that color coordination going on. And I think as well, giving them a thanks, not just for their suave attire, but their tireless dedication this entire weekend.
In roller derby, we call them zebras. But that group out there is actually called a dazzle.
It is a dazzle. And their officiating has been just as dazzling.
True story.
So at the moment, we have Rough Edges at the front, facing off against 2 blockers. And that is lead jammer for Rough Edges for Nashville.
Torque trying to speed up and cut that time down. 2-wall from Forest City trying to stop Rough Edges. Rough Edges slow down. Rough Edges got to call it off. Let's see what the referees say. 1 point to Nashville, 0 to Forest City.
And you can see Forest City having a little dance, a little cheer for holding Nashville just to 1 point in that jam. Nashville on 160, Forest City are on 70. 6.5 minutes left.
Gemicide of Forest City will be your lead jammer.
And it seems that we have some supporters for Forest City in the stands, giving that big cheer.
Do you call a penalty for blocks taken out in the penalty box?
Not entirely sure. It depends if it's your own blocker or not.
Oh, no, it was a different team. Gemicide calling it off. I just looked over, and blockers coming to the box hit each other. It was a different team.
Oh.
Number 4 from Forest City took out another jammer or another blocker. Nobody seemed to care about it, whatever. I mean, it was cool. I've never seen a block on a block in the penalty box, so. The referees didn't seem to care. No harm, no foul, I guess, in that instance.
I guess no relative position was gained or lost.
Nah, I think it only matters with jammers. So.
Yes. Talking of jammers, Punchbug and Drop Dead Alice are our jammers. Punchbug just punching her way through that wall. Drop Dead Alice with the speedy recovery, having taken a hit and being down. Meanwhile, Punchbug
just to keep the game safe, the medical staff is coming over just to make sure everything's good.
It looked like Drop Dead Alice having a bit of a tumble on the outside of the track there, but we can see the medic staff checking her over. She is on one knee and getting up.
In order to keep this game safe, we have to make sure that every time it looks like a helmet hits the ground, you have to be checked out by the medical staff. So good job on the announcer, or correction, the officials and the medical staff for coming over and making sure that the skaters are taken care of.
Yep, safety is #1 priority. Considering that this is a full contact sport, we have to wear full safety equipment as well. And it is important to have medics on hand just in case somebody is taking a little bit of a rough hit, a bit of a tumble.
All right, so we're just under 5 minutes left in this half. Score currently stands 164 Nashville, 74 Forest City.
I think it might be an official timeout. We see referees speaking to one of the players in the box. So we see one of the players being taken out of the box and replaced with another. We don't know if she's fouled out or if it was an expulsion. We will check with the referees and let you know. Meanwhile, just under 5 minutes left. That is AKA Rogue as our lead jammer for Nashville.
Number 4-2 Torque of Forest City is going to reporting to the box for a penalty. This will be a power jam for Nashville. AKA Rogue makes it through, 4 points on the board for Nashville.
And Nashville currently with 2 blockers. Forest City have 2 blockers in the box. So this is going to be 2-on-3 pack advantage.
And that advantage is paying off as AK Rogue makes it right through. No problems. 4 points on the board.
8 points in total for this jam. And AK Rogue coming back around on a scoring pass just as Torque is released from the box. Torque has to make the initial pass.
So that same thing from yesterday that I was talking about, Rogue makes it through the pack quickly, speeds it up, and causes the other team to call the jam off, which is what she was doing yesterday. She was very adept at getting the star as a pivot and speeding around and killing the other team and only getting like 1 scoring pass ever.
Yeah.
And she did that coming out of the box. She got out, she sped around, and that next jam called off.
Yeah, that is effective stemming of the bleeding. We have a rough edges and Gemicide as our two jammers right now in jam number 20.
Big scrum start at the beginning. All blockers within the pack. Gemicide to the back of the pack. Rough Edges being recycled at the back of the pack.
It's a foul out. And we have confirmation that the skater leaving the track, that was somebody fouling out rather than an expulsion. We also see somebody picking up another penalty. That is Gemicide for Forest City. Cut track. Another power jam for Nashville.
2.5 minutes left in this jam, or this game. Just about 1 minute left in the jam. Nashville doing a blocker swap in the box.
Forest
Rough
City.
Edges has now been awarded the lead jammer, finally, with under a minute left in the jam.
Yep, and we also have a full complement of blockers for Forest City. So she's had to work through at least 3, if not 4 of those heavy hitting blockers. Meanwhile, Gemicide is also out of the pack.
Rough Edges is through on a scoring pass. Rough Edges stuck on a tough 2-wall, trying to come around the outside. Hit outside by Nunya Biz. That'll be good enough for the jam to go to the natural 2-minute conclusion. Current score, 178 Nashville, 74 Forest City. 1 minute left in this game, the final game of AprilAngst 2019. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in.
We have had a fantastic time, and I think Penn Jersey put on a fantastic tournament, and we are so grateful to have the ability to have a live feed to share this amazing roller derby with you. And we have Rosie the Riveter as lead for Nashville right now.
Once again, 4-2 torque, Forest City getting out quickly, trying to go through and force the call off. Rosie River calls it off. Maybe a pickup of 4. Timeout is called on Forest City.
Yep, with less than 30 seconds left on the period clock. Forest City going, you know what, we want one more jam. We want to have just that little extra bit of fun. So called out that time, and the clock is now frozen on 22 seconds.
And as everybody who's probably watching right now knows, in the WFTDA, it's not so much as if you win the bout or lose the bout. It's on the point spread and the rankings. So, Forest City calling the timeout right now. Maybe they're trying to catch the score up a little bit more, so they may actually rise in rank versus stay where they're at. So it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. Our usual flat track derby stats guy is not around right now to ask about how this influences with the score, but it'll be interesting to see how this score shakes out and which team benefits from this at the end of the week.
Absolutely. Forest City putting out Drop Dead Alice. Everyone in the benches standing for what will be our final jam of the weekend.
I do believe everybody in the stands also cheering for Tiny Jammer.
Yes.
And Tiny Jammer number 99, Drop Dead Alice is your lead jammer. The crowd goes wild right now here at the Bud Zone.
And so does Drop Dead Alice. The joy on their face right now with that lead, enjoying every second on track.
The natural game clock is done, but you know this will not finish until the jam is called. So, and then as I say that jam is called,
Drop Dead Alice tapping those hips, ending this game. We've had a phenomenal time. Right now, the unofficial score There were 2 points picked up in that last jam by Forest City, 3 for Nashville. Forest City 76, Nashville taking the win with 185. We will wait for that score to be official, but what is official is we've had a phenomenal weekend. We've had amazing derby.
I definitely agree with that. This weekend has been so awesome here in Philadelphia. That swoopy whistle you just heard means that the score is official. The score stands Nashville 185, Forest City is 76. This is the end of AprilAngst 2019. I hope I'm here next year to do AprilAngst 2020. I am the Kragan.
I am Go-Go Boots, and thank you so much for sticking around for this amazing last game.
Hey guys, this is Keith S, aka Keith the Internet. I just want to thank you all for watching our stream. It was a pleasure hanging out with you all in the chat. Take care. Have a great night.